Okay, question one. As the only male in the parenting program at the Trinity High School, Sam experiences sexism from moms and other administrators. Even strangers treat him differently. Do you think he's treated unfairly, or is it justified? Do other characters in the novel experience sexism? What about ageism? Cite specific examples, page numbers.
I think he's treated unfairly. For example, on page 25, it said, "They wouldn't let me through the metal detector again, but they let Brianna through no problem."
Yeah, I agree, because in chapter 4, like, all the moms there were like saying like he needs extra diapers and extra clothes, and Sam was getting like stressed, like I'm telling him like what to do.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was page 25, and he said, "I'm sick and tired of everyone knowing what I should be doing." And I think it was just perfect how he was like, everyone seems to know more than him, but he's the one that actually spends the time with Max and kind of understands who Max is as a baby, and he should really be the one. Like he even though like they kept on giving him ideas, and he's like, no, he just wants to get out of the seat because he was in his car seat, I think, and it's like he knew what he needed, but all the parents and the girls wanted to put in their own opinion, when really that's unfair because he really knew what he was doing.
Yeah, for sure. And then on page 186, when it's right after Max cut his hand and the nurse is like telling him what to do, she keeps looking at his dad to make sure like his dad's understanding it. And I'm trying to, I had the one question I had, was this an example of sexism or ageism?
Definitely, I think ageism.
I think too, because like she's looking at his dad, making sure the older and more responsible person got it. So the other question I had off that is, do you think he experiences more sexism or ageism throughout the whole novel?
I think the novel focuses more like his age, because he's like a teenager, and at the same time teenagers shouldn't really be having babies at that age. So I feel like even though he's a male, which is like a different perspective than being a female and being pregnant a teenager, it's like different for him because he's so young and he's a male. So it's like a double-edged sword for him, because he's just experiences two like stereotypes at the same time of being a father and being a teenage father.
Yeah, I agree with Zaina, how like sexism and ageism, like with like Sam, it goes almost like hand in hand, because he's like a teenage like male with like a child, and it's very like unfair how he gets treated compared to like all the other girls in like the parenting program. Like they all like know what they're doing, and like he says he like gets like takes it like hard when they tell him what to do.
Yeah, I would agree that he gets treated unfairly, but I think it's almost justifiable. That sounds wrong, but like I think you can't really blame society for thinking this way, because we're all taught how to think about these things like through like experiences and education. It kind of just teaches us how to think. And on page 10, ageism is used like when the cashier asks if Sam is his older brother, or if Max is his younger brother, and that Max is the younger brother. So society, I don't know, I don't really think you can blame them for thinking that.
I mean, he's definitely more prepared than I feel most, even like parents that are like having kids for the first time. Like his dad's very I don't know, distant, and Max really Sam really stepped up and is I thought he did a really good job throughout the books of caring for Max and being sure that Max had all of his needs met, and I think he still did a good job. So I don't think it was justified for them to think that they could have done it better than him, because they're not really in his situation.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like especially with stereotypes saying that like dads are dumb and stuff, and all they're there for is like just being funny and having a good time with the kids. When actually like they do a lot of taking care of them, and I know like with me, I go to my dad about like most things like a teenage girl wouldn't go to her dad about. So I think that's where like the stereotypes and how you said society just kind of like puts this name on teenage boys and just I guess dads in general.
Yeah, back to what Luke said about how like Sam's like more prepared than most guys would be. On page it's like chapter like it's like chapter 2, like page like 15. It says like the list, how like the list he had in his room, like most guys wouldn't do. Like they actually like wrote down stuff like what he needs to keep track of. He's pretty like organized, I think.
Why do you think he's so organized and like so prepared? If I was a teen dad, I would not be this organized. Like what about his life, like what events in his life have caused him to be this organized and this prepared?
Well, like I think his dad Like his dad has OCD, I think. Well, he didn't say he has OCD, but I feel like his dad kind of has OCD. Like his dad's always like cutting his food up, always making sure the house is tidy and clean. But I feel like that kind of like went into Sam a little bit too. So he's always prepared and has like a list. And I feel like Sam just doesn't want to mess up with Max. Like he knows that like he's shaping Max's future, so he doesn't want to mess up in any way. Like Sam always like thinks about, oh, I wonder how when Max is 10 if he'll play hockey. Like I feel like Sam just thinks about the future, and he doesn't want to like mess up anything with Max. Like he doesn't want him to grow up like in a bad household or anything like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I believe that really the changing point was when he had Max. Like, I don't know how he was before Max. Kind of seemed like he was just a normal kid like me. And then once you have a baby, it's really like this is your responsibility. You got to deal with this. And I think it kind of forced him to get organized and to like, you know, come at this a different way and you know really think like, okay, this is a baby. This thing can't survive without me, and I need to put forth my best foot and do everything I can to make sure that this baby's taken care of.
Yeah, I agree. Like Ben said, he wouldn't know what to do. Like, I feel like Sam knows what to do because he's really the only parent in his life. Like, his father is his parent, but he doesn't really support Sam in that fatherly role that a lot of people would play. So I think that he thinks it's all up to him, and like, if he doesn't take care of Max, then no one will take care of Max. So he's kind of forced to.
Yeah, and I think also like he's taking more responsibility because like his mom left him, and like Sam's mom died, so like he wants to be like responsible for the baby because he doesn't have a mother figure.
Do you think that Sam had to like really take care of himself after his mom died? Do you think his dad kind of like, well, as you can see now, his dad's kind of removed, but do you think even before he had his kid, his dad was removed and kind of didn't really care for Sam? And that's why Sam may be more responsible because he had to like care for himself since he was 9 and his mom passed away.
Yeah, I think so. One of you three over there said it, but that his dad is sort of checked out. Like we sort of see that he's really removed, and my guess is that happened like right after his mom died because the way he's prepared, how mature he is, it seems like he's been on his own. He's sort of been his own parent for a while now, and I don't know if his dad sort of mentally checked out like right after his mom died or how long it's been, but I think you can definitely see that he's so mature because he's had to grow up alone, and that he's had to deal with everything that life throws at him, that life throws at you as a teen alone. So yeah.
It's been 7 minutes 50 seconds.
I would like to answer like other characters in the novel who experience sexism because this happened on chapter 12, page 93, when Sam has like a sexist thought towards Claire when she's driving like a guy, smooth on the gears, a little over the speed limit on the freeway. When a jerk in a pickup cut in front of her, she swore at him and flipped him off, imposing that most girls don't drive that way and it's commonly only done by guys.
Wait, what's the question about that?
Do other
Just
characters.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Sorry, I thought that was a question. Sorry.
But yeah, I
Killed
agree.
that question.
Yeah, that was pretty sexist for him to say because he's like referring to Claire as a guy for driving like well and driving like above the speed limit and like taking actions. I find that's kind of like there's like little hints of that throughout the book, like saying like, oh, girls can't do this or guys can't do that. And we talked about that during like gender roles in class. So I feel like the author showed us like other parts of the book besides just like teenage pregnancy and like parenthood, and also showed us how like sexism is still prevalent right now and how like even like Sam's kind of like a sexist guy in some ways towards Claire. So yeah, I agree with that.
I have a question. Do you blame those individuals for being sexist?
I don't blame people for being sexist. I feel like it's just something you're kind of like brought up to know, like you're taught as a child. Like you know, girls wear pink, boys wear blue. It's kind of like a thing that's ingrained in our brains. So it's kind of like hard to say, oh, you're sexist, because it's not really that person's fault. It's because that's just what they've seen and what they know.
Yeah.
Do you think from what was it, Andy and Jenny's like get together thing, do you think it was sexist when the girls were in the kitchen with the babies and the guys were watching TV and drinking beer? Would that be like almost sexist kind of? It's like typical.
Yeah.
I mean, but they kind of like offered it. You know,
Yeah,
like
they-
Jenny took the child.
Well,
It
yeah.
shows that.
Like, I'm not- again,
girls
just kinda,
came
like,
outside if they
happens.
wanted to.
Like
Yeah,
that's
it
what like
wasn't
society is
It
now.
wasn't like Sarah
Yeah.
just said, "Oh, take the child." It was more like, "Oh, just." But
Yeah.
it was like a sexist thing, but I don't think it was like. for
I think it was
Sam.
meant to be sexist. Like I
Yeah.
think like that's just sort of like overthinking it and just taking it too far because like he could have done it really anyway. I think it was just easiest to put him or Andy and Sam together like as best friends playing outside. Like Andy and Sam have the best connection out of like really anyone in the book, I guess. Like as far as like friendship. So I think it was easier for him to display that while they're doing something that they've been doing their whole life. So I think it was more to focus on that rather than other pieces.
Yeah, I think one part when they kind of like took it too far was in chapter 4 on page like 31. But I think it's really like unfair, like when Nicole and Claire were commenting on like how Sam like is a parent instead of like getting to know like what he does and like who he is. Like they were saying like you can't just eat meat, and like they were saying like how they can buy cheaper things at Target. Like they know more than like Sam does for being a father.
So there's like ageism and sexism.
Yeah, but I definitely think it's just society has kind of ingrained that into everyone, and breaking from that society norm of like, oh, maybe a teen parent can be a good thing, or maybe a guy can actually be a good father and, you know, raise his kid correctly. I think that's why it's like it's so ingrained into society now that this is just how it works, that it's kind of hard for people to look at it a different way and break from that norm.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. Like,
I have questions. So you.
okay, I was gonna say it's kind of hard. Like with like I'm for like the whole hanging on to Max like project. I'm doing sexism within children, like how like the colors and like the themes for like birthday parties and stuff like that. How it's so like engraved into our heads, saying like, oh, boys are blue, girls are pink. Like, why can't a boy like the color pink? Like, it's not common for that to happen. It needs to change.
The question I had was like, do you think sexism exists because of experiences that are somewhat factual? Like with like the mom coming up to Sam, like, do you know what to do? Do you think that maybe it's somewhat true that maybe guys don't know what to do compared to, let's say, a mother?
I feel like it's kind of sometimes weird to say that girls know more than boys, but at the same time, it's sometimes like a mother figure knows like best than like, I don't want to say more than a father, but I feel like mothers have like intuition, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So like at the hospital scene when the mom rushed in, it's like any mother would want to come see their child if they're in the like emergency room because they just care so much. Because that's like their baby. So it's like I feel like sometimes mothers do know more, but I'm not saying they know more than fathers. It's just like a thing that we just like they have, I guess. Yeah.
Alright, does anyone want to add anything?